How should RUSD address underperforming schools within the district?
Okay, my school is very low that I teach at. And so I think that you need to address the EL learners are struggling. Why not have after-school programs? Why not have remedial help at all of our schools that need that? We need to work on bringing these students that are low to above grade level or at grade level. The way we do that is we need to work harder in the classroom and possibly after school. We need to also educate parents. This week is conference week, and I met with this parent and I had a translator, and when I talked about comprehension grade, she did not know what comprehension meant in Spanish or English. So I had to explain what comprehension meant. We need to educate our parents. It always starts at the home. But unfortunately, some of our parents cannot help with the homework. That's when the school comes in and can help. If we were there at school to help these students that are struggling, they would not fall behind. We need to have programs for these students that are struggling behind. I have made so many referrals for student study team, which means I need them to be tested. And they come out as having a low IQ. And they say, oh well, they're not going to qualify, so never mind. So now what happens? They're lost in the system? No, not in my classroom and not at Roland. If that happens, that means those children need extra care. Do we need an aide to pull them out and do something with them? Maybe, but we need to address them and so that we could be at all of our schools high functioning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Mrs. Stewart.
Sarah, can you repeat the question again?
Be happy to. How should Roland Unified address underperforming schools within the district?
Each student have their own unique learning ways. We need to have each school, in regards of their below performing the average students, we need to help them. But how? I believe that right now we do have good program to help our students in school, in different schools. However, do our parents know that? Do they know to send their students for help in school? Again, that would be like the communication. We need to just like Donna said, the education starts from home. If parents don't know, if they don't know how to help their own students, how can school help out? So school district will have the responsibility to communicate with the families, especially for those students who perform below the average, and help them stand out for them to participate the programs that our school district is already offered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Stewart. Mr. Malcolm.
I just read an article just this week in Tennessee. They did an extensive study, the Vandenberg group did it. And they took several elementary schools and they supplied them with extra funding to buy materials, increase pay for the teachers, and just to make this the learning experience richer. And what they found out is that those that got supplemental supplies and funding, etc., they did not have better outcomes than those that did not. So then they looked into it to see why that occurred. And what they found out is that socioeconomic conditions had a bigger factor on success than just supplies alone in a better classroom. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of families out there. You'll hear in Roland the north side versus the south side, as far as the discrepancy between the two sides of Roland. And if you look at it, you'll see that there are many families out there in Roland Heights that are living paycheck to paycheck or welfare check to welfare check. I run a shoe program where I provide shoes to needy elementary school children both in Hacienda La Puente and in Roland. I've given out over 1,000 pairs of shoes. When I raise money through our senior pathfinders to buy these shoes, I get often, the question is, where do the shoes, or where are they being sent to? They find it hard to believe that we have children in Roland that need shoes, that can't afford them. If a child cannot have his own basic needs met at home, he's not going to learn in school. So we need to approach this both from an academic point, and we need to approach this from a socioeconomic point. And like several of the other candidates said, we need to do more for family education, how to assist their child in education, and how to be a support for them in education, as well as academically in providing a richer environment in the classroom. It's not one or the other, but it's both.
A number of things we can always agree on. One thing, you can take something and you throw all the money you want at it, and things aren't going to change, as Dave pointed out. But here's another issue, that poverty does not equal stupidity. And if you maybe heard of George Washington Carver, who was a slave, so forth. And he was one of the most preeminent botanists, so forth. And in his words, he said, education is the key to the golden door of freedom. And this is what it's all about. And all these different steps, everybody said they've had good parts of the whole. And first of all, we have to have financial support for all these. Everybody says, hey, let's do this, let's do that. If you haven't got the bucks there, forget about it. Also, it's well known, and from the process that got Julie Mitchell her job, the professional office, but say, guess what? The taxpayers, the constituents don't trust you. We in this district have to do what is necessary, and part of that is transparency. And we've been talking about it, audit has been going on for years. And so that people want to know, one, where's the money? And we've got to somehow get that trust back so we can get the money that we can use to get all these programs to help with the parents and right on up the scale and hold each party responsible. The parents have to be responsible right on up the scale, and we can have market success. Thank you.
Underperforming, which means that students is not achieving what they're expecting, and it's been issues in the district. And I think first, I think underperforming is the combination of many things. It's related to the family, it's related to students, it's also related to the school side. And how we try to make a change in that part, to how can we make the student want to learn. That's something that deeper than just have like after school program or intervention program. I think first thing we need to do is to show the careness, to show the concerns to the student, talk to the students, to find out why the students cannot have issues with the learning. I believe that every student, when they go to school, they want to learn, because according to the research, the students, the students or the young people that they get into trouble, the first thing they say is that because they don't feel they're good, because they are behind at school, and that was the issue, which affect many things. So I think so if we have students who is underperformed, we need to find out the reason, and based upon that finding, and we provide the appropriate support. If they need after school program, they need tutoring, we'll provide the tutoring. If they need some support to deal with something happened at school, and we refer to the appropriate agencies, or we take action. I think finding out the roots is the only way to solve the problem.
I believe it's now Mrs. Shu's turn to pick